Hello everyone. In this video, we'll see two different types of asset allocation strategy. The first is strategic and the second is tactical asset allocation. Starting with the first one. So strategic asset allocation basically sets target weights for various asset class allocations and is a long-term portfolio strategy, which means it's relatively less focused on any short-term market fluctuations. As it's focused on long-term, it is somewhere similar to buy and hold strategy. Because in the buy and hold strategy as well, target weights are chosen and they are maintained over a long period. So there are certain factors which helps to decide target allocations. This includes investors' objectives, time horizon, risk tolerance, and many others. The strategy seems to be static, but that does not mean allocations are not revised. So, if there is any change in the investor's objectives, financial situations, or any changes in the asset class performance, which may deviate from the target allocations, in those cases, modifications are done, but infrequently. Let's see an example to understand the strategy better and to even understand how the rebalancing is done. Suppose a portfolio has two basic asset classes, that is debt and equity, with their target weights of 40 and 60 respectively. Now, after a year, equity returns increases by 10% and debt by 5.5%. Due to the increase in their return percentages, their allocation in the portfolio also increases. So, in terms of amount, equity has increased by 600 and debt has increased by 220. And in terms of percentage, equity is now 60.99% and debt is 39.01%. So clearly, their current weights are no more equal to the target allocation, and therefore the portfolio needs to be adjusted to bring them back to their original weights. As per the current value and original target allocation, equity in terms of amount should be 6492 and debt should be 4328. Now the adjustment here is to sell some part of the equity and buy some debt so that they both come back to their original target weights. After this example, next is to know who can opt for this strategy. First one is long-term investors. If investors have long-term horizon, then strategic asset allocation approach may be ideal as it allows them for long-term holdings. Also, it helps them recover from any potential market downturn. Second is novice investors. Any beginners with a limited investment knowledge and wants to use a passive approach for their investments can also use strategic approach. The third one is buy and hold investors. This is similar to the long-term investors. In this, you purchase and hold it for the long term, which helps you avoid any transaction cost which is associated when you end up trading frequently. But that does not mean you don't perform any transaction. You can buy and sell to rebalance the portfolio to its original target weights, but this is infrequent. After understanding the basic and who can opt for the strategy, next is to know which factors are favorable and not so favorable for this approach. This type of portfolio is easier to maintain due to its passive approach. Secondly, investors can avoid making any emotional short-term decisions that is based on current market events. Instead, make optimal decision which is beneficial in the long term. Lastly, it's beneficial for the conservative investors who wants to invest in the market with calculated risk. What does not work with this strategy is it is a more rigid approach due to its long-term nature that may not be able to adapt to any changing market conditions. And the second is there are lower potential returns. So strategic asset allocation aims to generate a consistent long-term returns. It may not be able to take advantage of any short-term market inefficiencies. Now the second type of strategy is tactical asset allocation strategy. This strategy comparatively has a short-term focus and more has an active approach. Now, why active approach? Because it deviates the portfolio weights from the target weights when they find any inefficiency in the market, but these deviations are within the permitted limits. The short-term view is expressed by overweighing the assets that are going to outperform and underweighing the underperforming assets. This enhances the investor's chance of earning higher returns by taking advantage of certain market opportunities. For example, suppose your strategic asset allocation mandates you to invest in 60% equity and 40% in debt. Now, in a rising interest rates scenario, debt funds could be more attractive. So, you may increase your allocation in debt and reduce exposure to equity. And tactical asset allocation within asset class. So, suppose in equities, you have invested 40% in pharma, 30 in IT, and remaining 30 in other sectors. So, if IT becomes attractive, then you may increase your allocation to IT stocks. The importance of this strategy is adaptability to market scenarios. Markets are unpredictable, and this strategy allows you to adapt to these changes, which is particularly useful in times of uncertainty. Another importance is its risk management, which allows investors to adjust their portfolio during market downturns and eventually reduces any negative market impact on the portfolio. Besides its importance, the advantage of this approach is it is flexible because it allows you to quickly respond to the changing market conditions. And secondly, it has the potential for earning higher returns. The unfavorable part is its increased cost because frequent trading can lead to higher transaction costs and taxes, which may even offset the gains. And secondly, there is a risk of underperformance. As tactical asset allocation is a high risk strategy, there is a possibility of underperformance if decisions taken prove to be incorrect. So, this was about two different types of asset allocation strategies. Hope the concept is clear. See you with another topic. Thank you.